What is a godly man? When I think of a godly man, I think of a coin with two sides. The first side is the simplest and possibly the most important. I think to be a godly man, you must first be an obedient child. How will I ever grow to be the man my Father wants me to be if I am not obedient to his instruction, advice, and example? The second side of the coin is to just be a man. To be a man means to have character, to be courageous and act in love. We as men are to be leaders of our family. And if we're godly, we will be leaders in all aspects of our lives. Paul, who is my favorite example of a godly man, told Titus when choosing elders for the church in Crete that they must be men of character, and he described what that looks like in Titus 1:6-9. In Titus 2:2 and 2:6-7, Paul tells Titus to teach the other men how to be godly, and for him, Titus, to be the example to them. What is so great about this is that it came from Paul. I love Paul because I can relate to him. Paul was a man very much of this world before Christ touched him on the forehead with a 2x4. Paul was far from perfect, but when he made Christ the center of his life, he became a shining example of what a godly man is. Through all of his trials, he doesn't complain, cower, or blame. He maintains his character through it all and continues to live life with love. To me, he is the best example of a godly man. The two sides of his coin are shiny and beautiful. My coin, on the other hand, looks like an old penny that's been lost, dropped, and run over in a parking lot. It is tarnished, dinged, and dented, and I only have this one. The great thing about it is that every time I love someone, every time I treat my family with love and compassion, every time I give grace to a coworker, every time I stand up for what is good and true, I put a little shine on my coin. And if I stay obedient to my Father and act like a man, my coin will become more and more beautiful. I have come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter what shape my coin is in. God's gift to me is the coin, and I have the choice to polish it or not. Being a godly man is not being the shiny coin, but instead the act of shining it. I am not perfect, nor will I ever be, but as long as I continue to strive to be an obedient child of God and act as a man, I am a godly man. And as I continue to polish my coin and strive to be a godly man, I get to do it in the open for everyone to see. I have the opportunity to teach my sons how to be a godly man by demonstrating love, grace, courage, and faith, so that when they enter manhood, maybe their coin will start a little shinier than mine did. I get to model a godly husband to my daughters by loving my wife as Christ loved the church, so that when they enter womanhood, they can expect a man of character, love, and faith. Whether or not I like it, everyone can see my coin, and my family especially is looking at it and watching closely. As a godly man, I need to do my best to continue to polish my coin for all to see. So what is a godly man? It is not the shiny, perfect coin. There was only one of those. Jesus Christ had it. The godly man is the imperfect coin that you must always work on and polish. And when it gets dropped and run over, the godly man picks it up without blame, excuses, and instead with grace and lovingly starts polishing it again. The godly man doesn't give up. He gives others and himself grace and love and stands strong in the faith that God loves him and wants him to be a shining example of God's glory. In Titus 2:12, Paul says, the grace of God, teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives. We all know that this present age can be dark. So as Paul said in 1 Corinthians 16:13-14, be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be men of courage, be strong, and do everything in love.